President Biden is visiting Buffalo tomorrow to meet with people within that community. He calls Saturday's attack, quote, a hate-fueled domestic terrorism. Meanwhile, politicians in New York are demanding federal action on gun control. Ed O'Keefe is at the White House covering this angle of the story for us. Ed, good morning. I mean, I know we have to have these conversations, Ed, but it just feels like every time there's a shooting, we start to talk about gun control again, and nothing really changes.
Yep, that's true, Anne-Marie. Whether it's the Buffalo shooting, whether it's the shootings over the weekend in Texas, California, Milwaukee, North Carolina, or, of course, the gun violence that seems to plague every weekend in spring and summer Chicago, there is no sign that Congress or the White House is going to be able to tackle domestic extremism or regulate firearms anytime soon. The president spoke at a police memorial event Sunday here in Washington. He made a mention of the shooting in Buffalo. He called for unity. He did not mention the push for gun control. He has taken some steps to crack down on gun violence through executive action, and just on Friday held an event with mayors and police chiefs here at the White House to urge them to use some of the federal pandemic relief money they've received in the last 2 years to boost police and public safety budgets. But Democrats, as they've tried for years, have been blocked from passing gun control legislation in the House and the Senate, not just from opposition from Republicans, but also some fellow moderate Democrats concerned about doing so. And meanwhile, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says her chamber is going to try again in the coming days and weeks to pass legislation designed to curb domestic extremism. There's been some disagreement in the Democratic caucus about how exactly to proceed, and there will be Republican opposition as well to establishing new offices that would do this at the FBI, the Department of Homeland Security, and other parts of the federal government to track violent extremism. But again, whether it's shootings at flea markets, supermarkets, churches, classrooms, outside NBA games, or inside shopping malls, there is no sign that the White House and Congress is going to take action anytime soon to curb violent extremism or gun violence.
No, not at all. But Ed, let me ask you this. You know, officials say that there were warning signs about the Buffalo shooter. Is there any legislation that is being discussed that would have prevented the shooter from having his weapon or carrying out the attack?
I mean, unless he was already characterized as mentally ill, there aren't necessarily there isn't necessarily legislation that would address that. I mean, this is the issue: is you're dealing primarily here in these situations with adults who, you know, may or may not have mental health issues. You're dealing with ideology that they believe in. How do you regulate that necessarily? What is the definition of a violent extremist? What is the definition of extremism? Who exactly should federal agents be targeting to avoid that? You know, what kinds of groups? And by doing so, what kind of other things are you potentially bumping up against legally if you do that? That's what makes this so difficult. And then, of course, there's just the classic, do you want to regulate the size and scope of firearms? Who exactly can own them? What exactly they can shoot out? That is a sort of classic debate that's raged for years that neither side can come to an agreement on. And the only thing that will ever get that changed, probably, is a supermajority of some sort in either or both houses of Congress and a president who agrees with them. Yeah. And both parties, frankly, for that matter, depending on how you look at this, are far off from that.
Yep, indeed. Ed O'Keefe, thank you very much.